Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
After Stacey Bailey would call 911 on May 9th, 2021, and would tell the dispatcher about their daughter being missing, Tristyn Bailey, dispatchers would quickly send over two deputies, Robert Maloney and Liam Stack. Once they arrived, they would begin questioning Stacey about the whereabouts of their daughter, and this is where she would tell both Maloney and Stack that on that weekend she had actually taken Tristyn to a food truck event to meet up with some friends, and they would also go to a restaurant as a family on that Saturday. Both deputies would quickly agree that it did look like she had snuck out the previous night. Believing that Tristyn had actually ran away, as most of the evidence led up to them believing that she had ran away, would start questioning all of Tristyn's classmates and friends at Patriot Oaks Academy. And all of her classmates would confirm and agree that Tristyn had actually snuck out the previous night. Even more, most of these classmates would actually know where Tristyn was going, and would lead the detectives to two boys, and that would be Dolphy Absher and Aiden Fucci. Now, some reports refer to Absher as Dolphy Absher, and some refer to the kid as Trey Absher. But either way, these two boys would actually be a year older than Tristyn Bailey. So the detectives would go to Trey Absher's residence and would, ask the parents' permission to ask Trey a couple questions, which they would consent. And they would ask Trey if Tristyn had been at his place the previous night. Trey would actually confirm and say that Tristyn Bailey had in fact been at his house after midnight, but Tristyn and Aiden would actually leave his place roughly around 1:15 a.m. They would ask Trey if he remembered what Tristyn Bailey was wearing that night, and Trey would tell the police that he believed that Tristyn had on a black pair of sweatpants and a gray t-shirt with the word pink across the front. So the detectives, Maloney and Stack, would actually call their superior officers to report Tristyn Bailey missing and give the description of what she was wearing when she was last seen. And after they would give the description of what Tristyn was last wearing, the sheriff would actually put out a missing child's report. And not only would he put out a report, he would actually air this all over the news that day, as well as putting an APB out for Tristyn Bailey. Now, because this was getting so much coverage and they had done an Amber Alert, they had put this missing child report on the news, everyone around the community was hearing about Tristyn Bailey being missing, and the community would actually come together and form these search parties, and the entire community was looking desperately for Tristyn Bailey. Now that the whole community was looking for Tristyn Bailey, the cops wanted to direct their attention to Aiden Fucci to see what he had to say about the previous night. But when police would talk to Aiden Fucci, they were not getting the same feeling they had gotten from Trey Absher. But they wouldn't be suspicious of Aiden Fucci at the very beginning. They would ask Aiden Fucci if he had actually been with Tristyn Bailey the previous night after 1:15. And Aiden Fucci would confirm with the detectives that he had in fact been hanging out with Trey Absher that night, and that Tristyn Bailey had came over after midnight. He would also confirm that himself and Tristyn would actually leave the house around 1:15 a.m. But this is the only part of the story that would actually make sense. It's around this time that Aiden Fucci would tell the detectives that Tristyn and himself had been walking down North Durban Parkway. And Aiden would tell the detectives that Tristyn would actually turn onto Cloister Bain Drive to actually begin walking over to her house. He then would tell the police that he walked around for a bit and would return home around 3:30 in the morning. This immediately would raise suspicion for the police, as they would tell Aiden, "Your house is about a 30-minute walk. Why did it take you almost 2 hours to get home? This is when Aiden Fucci would actually change his story. And this time Aiden Fucci would tell the police that they had been walking and Tristyn Bailey would grope Aiden. And at this, Aiden Fucci would be shocked and would push Tristyn away to where she would fall down and hit her head. He would then tell her to F off and begin walking around. But this would not be the most disturbing thing that police would notice about Aiden Fucci. While in the patrol car with Trey Absher, Aiden Fucci would make a video post that he would post on Snapchat. In this video would be very disturbing, as he would make a video and claim, "Hey Tristyn, where are you at when you make up your mind to walk out of the dam?" And the video would cut off. He would also get onto Snapchat and make a post of him sitting in the patrol car. And in this Snapchat post, he would put on the caption, "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristyn lately?" But this little Snapchat post would get a lot of angry responses. Some of these responses would include responding to the Snapchat story, "WTF Aiden," and "You were with her, Aiden, you know what happened to her." These Snapchat posts and responses would be one of the many reasons why the police were so suspicious of Aiden Fucci, on top of just how his stories didn't have any truth to it or lined up with the other stories. And because of this Snapchat post, it would not take long for police to find out about the post, as many people were forwarding these messages to their other friends about this questionable post. And the police would quickly confiscate Aiden Fucci's cell phone as a crucial part of evidence. They would also begin questioning Aiden more, and this again is where he would change his story yet again. And it's around this time that Aiden would tell the police that it is possible that Tristyn may have been meeting up with a man that she had been in contact with through Snapchat. This would be a 20-year-old man by the name of Carlo, and he was a known person for a paraphernalia dealer. They would not get any more information out of Aiden Fucci at this time, because it's around this time that Aiden's parents would actually come down and they would get a lawyer. But before Aiden's parents would take him home, they would suggest, or he would suggest, to contacting a classmate by the name of Shyla. Shyla would confirm that Tristyn had told her that on Friday she had planned on going and hanging out with Trey Absher and Aiden Fucci, and would actually invite her over to come hang out with them. But Shyla would said that she felt very uneasy or uncomfortable about hanging out with the two boys. She would also confirm that there was a particular spot around that Aiden Fucci would hang out with not only classmates but friends, in a wooded area where they would vape or smoke paraphernalia. Shyla would know about this particular person that was a paraphernalia dealer, but the cops didn't really believe that Tristyn Bailey was with this person, as it just didn't fit her personality of being someone that regularly used paraphernalia or drugs. The police would quickly ask Shyla permission if they could use her phone as a way to collect evidence to see if they could find where Tristyn was, which she would give permission for the police to do. But before leaving this interview, Shyla would give police information that would make them look into Aiden Fucci more. She would refer to Aiden as a numb kid, or a kid that really didn't have any feelings about himself or other people, and would end it by saying Aiden Fucci would almost pass himself off as a person you would think as someone being an unaliver, which would quickly make the police look into Aiden as a primary suspect.